This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube with a daily wrestling news update for you. I agree with Bret Hart's latest comments. He did an interview and says he does not watch today's wrestling because it's quote unquote too fake, and he believes there needs to be more realism. He says the current style is all about high spots and acting. Well, you could say bad acting. Good morning to you, Eric. But yeah, there's definitely needs to be more realism brought back to the product, because not only is there less realism, like as good as some people say Logan Paul is, he doesn't kayfabe, and his stuff is just a spot fest. It doesn't look believable, even though he does know how to fight and stuff. When he does stuff, to me, it just looks like overly choreographed. So there is no believability. And then on top of that, they have shows out that show how they do everything, and then they wonder why interest is lacking. By the way, apparently these $37,500 WrestleMania tickets is part of these new packages that WWE is putting out. It's not even for front row. You can pay 37,500 and get second row, which is just crazy. I was listening to Dave Meltzer talk about the AEW pay per view over the weekend. He definitely is pro AEW and friends with Tony Khan. They obviously talk, and it is his. He likes the over choreographed style. From listening to him, it sounds like Will Ospreay is his favorite wrestler, and to me, Will Ospreay is the poster boy for fake looking wrestling. Is he a good acrobat? Yes. Does he make you believe? No. But anyways, as far as their show on the weekend, it went really long again. I don't know what it is with them and their long pay-per-views. It ended at about 12:40 a.m. Eastern time. I don't know why they want to have these shows that are like 5+ hours long. It just burns anybody out. As far as the type, they had a lot of blood in the show, but I guess they had like three no holds barred and no DQ matches in a row. So it kind of hurt the fans' reaction. Not only was the show long, but like we're gonna have a really long show, then we're gonna have three no holds barred matches in a row. So by the time you get to the last one, there's very little reaction. Apparently, the Mercedes Monet match had very little reaction. AEW's live attendance is down. Their TV numbers are down. Their pay per views have been the most stable thing. This Kyle O'Reilly guy, for some reason, they're really high on him. He's the one that they're trying to strap a rocket to in AEW. They're having a very hard time creating stars in AEW. You could actually say that, well, by far the biggest star they created was MJF, who rarely ever wrestles for them, it seems. Local midget wrestling is more exciting than anything on TV. I don't know about that, but it is interesting that there is touring midget wrestling companies, which is crazy. The fans know it's choreographed. Wrestling is a show. Well, it's one thing to know it's choreographed, but it's another thing to not be. You could still buy it. You know, movies are fake too, but you can get into a movie. The problem with wrestling is it's, and I don't know how old you are, but you used to be able to buy into angles and have be interest, suspend your disbelief and actually get interested in angles. You don't have that anymore because they look too, it looks like they're just doing a spot fest. And then on top of that, they don't sell. So that's also not believable. And the promos are are very boring. They're long, and you have two guys that supposedly hate each other standing with each other in the ring just talking. So anyway, I'm not here to rant about it. I don't watch it. I'm just saying I agree with Bret Hart. As far as the Williams, the women's evolution or whatever you want to call it, I guess Stephanie McMahon recently is kind of claiming she is the one that's created this new boom of women's wrestling and got women's wrestler pay up. Which, by the way, apparently the top three highest paid WWE women's wrestlers are Rhea Ripley, 3 million, and again these have bonuses. Becky Lynch, 3 million to 4.5 million, which is just crazy because I don't think Becky Lynch is that over these days. I don't think Becky Lynch is worth that, to be honest. But she just re-signed, so she's gonna be around for a while. Charlotte Flair makes 2.5 million. To me, Rhea Ripley is losing steam. Becky Lynch has lost a lot of steam. Charlotte Flair has lost a lot of steam, but I would still put her at more value than Ripley and Lynch at this point. But then if you look at the guy wrestlers, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar make around 15 million, which Lesnar might even make more than that. Cody Rhodes makes 10 million, Randy Orton makes 10 million. That's a lot of money. It's crazy. And I've heard that John Cena's getting 35 million for his last year in wrestling. So I don't know. It's strange that they paid him that much money, and he hasn't really. I guess he's helped it from totally tanking, but they've hit some of their all-time record lows this year, even with it being John Cena's final year in wrestling. I don't know if Vince McMahon could turn things around. I'd like to see him open up his own league and have another option for another product out there. Because one thing is for sure, like him or hate him, and I don't think it's necessarily bad to have Tony Khan around paying people lots of money, but he was asked about it. Does he feel burnt out? Because he is the head booker for AEW, plus he works for the Jaguars, plus he has a soccer job. So he does a lot. How can you be on top of any of those products when you're spreading yourself thin like that? But um, he loves wrestling, and he says he loves the feedback he gets from his booking. So he's never going to change. So Piper's doing well, Grandma Daisy. But yeah, for the person saying, or this person, why did we have to break kayfabe in the first place? Well, you can still kayfabe. There's stuff that's been kayfabe. For instance, I believe the Montreal Screwjob is still being kayfabed. I believe that was a work. You can make people believe in stuff, but to just watch wrestling for the acrobatics now, that's I have zero interest in that. Colonel Parker interview in the new year, probably. I am interviewing Raven soon. And you're not going to see me interview Marty Jannetty again. I'm going to do a custom podcast on Marty Jannetty next. So stay tuned. I'm going to do something custom because Marty Jannetty was very rude to me, and I'm going to explain